Good morning, guys.
Mikey.
How are you doing?
We're doing okay. I guess we should ask for your response on this Ken Rosenthal article. Said that you didn't want to comment, or maybe asked you for comment, whatever. But we had to talk about it earlier in the show. What's kind of your thought process in it?
Yeah, I think I got a summary of it from our PR people. Yeah, I mean, people, Ken and a lot of other journalists, and they ask for comments all the time about a bunch of stuff. I rarely make comments to the journalists, on a daily basis during the season. It was. I've kind of told people I'm done talking about the Soto trade. That was years ago, and we've all moved on.
Which you did great, by the way. You did great in it.
We did great, and you had to do great because you were dealing a great player that you drafted and signed and developed and that type of thing. So yeah, so that was the reason of that. I mean, that wasn't the first time I didn't respond back to Ken. It won't be the last because I rarely respond back to the journalists asking for those type of comments. To me, today I'm immersed into today's game and how we beat the Mariners and that type of thing. I don't need to be discussing a trade that we made 3-4 years ago. So that's what that was about. And to comment on the article, like I said, I got a summation from our PR people. I didn't read the whole thing, but yeah, there's some validity to some things that he said there. I think that it was odd timing because we've won 7 out of the last 11. I think we played pretty well. We swept the Orioles, and we took a 2-game series against the Braves, and now we got this tough West Coast trip, which going out to Seattle and the West Coast is never easy. So we'll be grinding away. We've been grinding all year. I'm proud of the way the effort that they put in from the players and the coaching staff and that type of thing. You see some young players, baptism by fire when you're throwing. You're throwing Hassel and Dalen Lyle in against Robbie Ray,
right.
A Cy Young contender. That's no picnic. But I think that you're going to see the development of these guys come and that type of thing. These guys are developing at the big league level. We've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years. We've developed players that have won division titles and world championships and that type of thing. So I think that some of those comments were, I think, some of those statistics were kind of cherry picked and that type of thing. But we're proud of our scouting and our player development guys. We draft guys that we think are going to help us in the big leagues, and help us in the big leagues means play for us or trade away to get other players that'll help us win. And when you look back at our really good teams, the 2019 team, for example, Adam Eaton was a big part of winning that World Series. It took 3 good drafted and developed players from us to acquire an Adam Eaton to help us win the World Series. And Gomes and Doolittle and Hudson and Gio Gonzalez and all these guys came from players that were drafted and developed by the Nationals. They didn't play for the Nationals in the big leagues and didn't help us at the big league level, but the players we acquired for them did. And I think that that is a terrific way to show value in the draft, and we've been doing that for years. And either the players that we drafted play for us, or we trade them away and package them up and get a player that's going to play for us. So I guess you could pick at certain draft choices and picks and that type of thing over the last years, and you could find some faults there. But when I look at we've run some of the great players in the game through our system. We've drafted some of the great players ever. We've drafted guys low in the draft that have won Cy Youngs and that type of thing. So there's I just thought the timing of the article was odd because we were playing good, and we really are seeing the fruits of this frustrating rebuild coming to fruition. But I'm still optimistic. The needle of this team and this organization is pointed north, and it's going to continue to do so until we start winning championships, which I think is in the very near future.